Slow. As Mrs. Doubtfire said, hello!
Hello! Would you like one number two?
Well, hello! Oh, dear. You all right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I reckon I'll make a good Mrs. Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire too, the dodgy English bloke.
I think I'll be too busy plopping cream in the tea.
Yeah.
The way my nose has been running recently, I think it probably would actually.
Okay, I'm just gonna vomit now.
Would you like syrup in your coffee?
Hey, Kelly, you all right? Dirty bugger, you. There's Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
We are all absolutely fine, thank you very much. We'd be the ladies of Little Britain. Oh, thank you. Ooh, lovely. Pardon me. You lot out there in the chat room, are you going to come and join us at Skegness on the 2nd of December? If you would like to join us at Skegness on the 2nd of December, have a look on the wall, and I will post the advert for it to get the tickets and everything on again.
Yes. You can wander around. You can wander around with us in the dark, looking for ghosties and ghoulies.
And you get dinner as well, and a secret Santa.
And you might see the odd UFO.
Yeah, you might do. We did.
And you might get a special surprise from myself and Mark.
But I can promise you I will keep my trousers on. Mine won't, but I will.
But Mark doesn't know that I'm going to be doing this. So Mark's in the dark as far as everybody's concerned. But I will let Mark know after the show. But there will be a little surprise from me and Mark as well for anybody that wants, that does turn up on the night.
Okay, that's new to me.
It is.
It's new to me. So who is it?
I just forgot to tell you that was all.
Eh?
I just forgot to tell you that was all.
I got no bloody idea. Right, where's me? Because I need to open this up on here so I can see who the hell is in there. Hi, Sarah. Everybody all right out there? We were just chewing the fat before we came on here. Right, let me see.
Yeah, look, we've got Willow in, only a flying visit because she can't be bothered.
Yeah, that was Willow saying we'd be the ladies from Little Britain.
Yeah. Evening, Colette.
Lady.
The ladies of Little Britain.
Hey, Colette, you all right?
What?
So,
can you put a bikini on?
The heating.
Oh, the heating. Sorry. Going a bit Mutt and Jeff. So another string in my bow. Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't realise, but you're watching as well.
I'm watching as well.
Yeah, you're watching as well.
Oh yeah, I am, because on here.
If you've got to go away.
Oh my God, those tossers! Oh, yeah. I'm just going to run over myself with my own car.
Tamsin's collar from a jacket. Oh, it's getting cold in here.
It's Princess Leia. Well, hi Rita, hi Colette, hi everybody else. Right, what were we going to? I'll turn the camera this way. I'm going around this way. I'm going around this way. There. So dinner has just been delivered.
Oh,
so if you see me nibbling, that's what it is.
No, I made sure I had my McDonald's before we went live.
What was I going to say? Let me just turn the volume up a minute. Right. Yeah, we actually had one of our fellow presenters send us a picture, didn't he? He had a bit of a UFO encounter. day before yesterday, wasn't it? Is that yours?
Well, for you, it was day before. Well, no, it was yesterday for you, but it was this morning for me, and I had quite a nice, lengthy conversation with him. So a big up to Parker, who sent us the picture, and basically we were chatting with him about an incident on the late hours of Saturday evening. Now, North Essex is not all that known for UFO sightings. So for something to have been seen that night, very strange indeed. I've analysed things. I've looked to the best of my ability and researched to the best of my ability. And I'm still a little bit confused and flummoxed as to what it could have been. Simply because there were issues to start off with the fact that you have Stansted Airport nearby. It's not that far off. So I thought maybe possibly it was that. Then there was the possibility that you have Jupiter and is currently going through past Pleiades, and the moon is involved as well. So I thought maybe there's a conjunction with that. But from eyewitness accounts, this object was in the southern hemisphere, or in the southern skies, not the northern skies or the eastern skies. So it couldn't have been anything to do with the moon or Jupiter. And then I started looking into things a little bit more. I looked through various NASA photos of Jupiter. Also, professional photos of Jupiter from Earth, and some not so well, both professional and not so professional photos. No, nothing looked like this. Colours are totally wrong. So I zoomed in, and
it's got something inside you can see it.
So in the middle of that, apart from the fact it's a very odd shape. Now the shape itself looks sort of egg-shaped, but it looks like somebody has taken a massive bite out of the bottom left-hand corner. So it's got a very strange shape. When I showed Parker this footage, the zoom in of it, you can clearly see there's lights dotted all around the object on the edges. If you zoom in. Also, there is in the center what appears to be a crescent that slowly forms into a circle. That says that in the center it's raised compared to the edges. So there's something there, i.e. like a dome or a structure there, that's thicker than the rest of the object. When
I spoke to him, he said we worked out it was about 220 feet up. That was about the size of we worked out it was about the size of an SUV. So yeah, 220 foot up, about the size of an SUV, and it had lots and lots of sorry, I'm going to keep eating in front of you guys. And it had lots of lights all the way around it, and it was a grey colour going to pinky purple, and it wasn't a drone because it was too big and you'd hear it. It wasn't a helicopter on whisper mode. And it, as you said, it wasn't a plane. It was far too low down for that, and too small to be a plane. And it was about 11:20 at night. And he went, "What the f***'s that?" Ran inside, got his camera, took a picture, and then thought, I'll get me decent camera so I can take a good photo.
He took a picture with his phone camera first, iPhone, then went back in to get his SLR, and when he came back out, had gone. So in all, it could have only been hanging around for about 5-6 minutes, which is pretty strange.
Thank you, Willow.
And like I said, when you're that close to Stansted Airport's not that far away from where he was. Yeah. But I said to him, if you were able to flip it on its side like that, I personally think you're going to have a clear dome-shaped object or a raised object on top of that.
When you flip it on its side, it looks like a diamond.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the bit, if you look in the middle, the centre circle of that, it's like a crescent, which means that it's at an angle, so you can see mostly part of one side, and then it fades off. So it's slightly tilted at an angle, so you can't see the right-hand side of that central object. So that says to me that that's raised. Whatever that is in the middle is raised. So like your typical flying saucer shape, where you've got your flying saucer with your dome in the middle, sitting on top, and that's what you've got. And like you say, it's got that on the top and then underneath. So you've got the dome on the underneath, and then the dome on the top as well. And I reckon that's what they've got there.
It's definitely got something there. Like I say, it's not any aircraft and it's not a drone. So I know, you know yourself with UFOs, they don't have fore and aft lights or port and starboard. They're not white. They're normally orange or like a weird grey or black color.
Yeah.
This one, although when he took the photo, it came purple. He said when he looked at it, it was like a weird grey color, and it was surrounded by flashing lights, which is it's not really that unusual in the UFO world. So I reckon
and when
it's definitely unknown, whatever it is.
And when you actually zoom in on the picture, you can actually clearly see that there are spots of light all around the craft. They're not just in certain areas, they're all around. I think me and Ellen counted about 14 spotlights on that craft. So I personally think there's something definitely there, especially as there's what looks like a bike chunk taken out the bottom left-hand side of it. It's I think he'd got something there.
Definitely. I've also sent you a map of what all the recent paranormal UFO sightings in Essex.
Yeah.
Have a look. There's been quite a few.
Well, the one that gets me is one from a couple either last year or the year before. There was a sighting in Burnham on Crouch, and it's marked here as a 3 sighting on there. We were at a ballet party for my youngest daughter, and we saw what I thought was a drone to start off with, but when it moved, it wasn't like the speed a drone would move. It literally had gone 30 miles from left to right, right to left, within a second. A drone cannot move that fast. You know, it was at a distance, but it went so fast. But when you gauge the distance, there was no way it could have moved that quick. And we watched it darting backwards and forwards for a few minutes, and then it shot off in sort of like the Burnham on Crouch direction. And I videoed it, and I did put it on my Facebook profile.
I remember.
And then that evening, somebody had reported to the local newspaper they had seen a UFO at Burnham on Crouch at the supermarket. And they'd taken a photo.
They were using up their Tesco club card points.
Well, yeah, some of that, or they were just fueling up just to get the points. But everybody started having a go and saying, "Oh no, that's lens flare from the street lamp." And I put a comment on there saying, "You have to remember that if it's going to be lens flare from the street lamp, the lens flare is going to look the same as the street lamp. That lens flare looks nothing like the street lamp.
Yeah,
it looks more like the lights on the object in the sky." And nobody could say anything to that. But it then looked out, and if I looked at the timeline, it was literally 5 minutes from when we saw it to when this lady took the picture.
There's been, it's like with everything that's been going on, the sightings have been ramping up and ramping up and ramping up. I've been seeing so many bloody videos and stills and pictures and stuff. And one thing that does piss me off is people using AI to do pictures of UFOs and stuff, and then they're putting it up. They're going, "Oh, look," and it's like you can tell it's AI because of how crystal clear it is, you know. Like, here's one for you. You know that picture decrypted that's going around, that wolf thing that's been seen?
Yeah.
To me, it looks like AI. To me personally, it's only my own opinion. It does look like AI. What do you think? What do you guys in the chat room think?
I think I would go with the vote on that one because I personally think something's not right with it.
And it's off.
There's bits, and the thing is anybody that looks at videos constantly, like we do, you know, we're forever scouting through the internet and looking in various places, not just on things like social media on TikTok and things, but actually on the internet.
I'll see if I can find it.
And if we find these things, we do look at them, and then we will go over them with a fine-tooth comb. Sometimes you can see the markers straight away.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're bloody obvious. Other times you could be watching it for a 2-minute video for about a minute and a half before something happens that makes it so blatantly obvious. And one of the biggest ones has been with the AI business, has been this one about Russian aircraft being shot down.
Yeah.
And when you see it, all you tend to see is a black silhouette. You don't see no markings or anything else, but you see like a vapor trail. And then all of a sudden you'll see this missile go up and it'll explode at the back end of this aircraft. And then straight away, you can tell that's AI because it stands out like a sore thumb. But people look at it and go, "Oh my God, that's Wellman. Oh wow, it's another Russian fighter down." Blah blah blah. And you're like, "No, that's computer generated. It's not even real."
Well, they did that back along with Afghanistan, wasn't it? They tried to say the US Army had shot down a UFO, and it wasn't. It was a load of bollocks.
The same as the ones over Hawaii, wasn't it? The UFOs over the Hawaiian beach. Again, that was all computer generated graphics. And the problem there is the graphics cards and the memory on these computers now are getting so powerful that they can make video footage. All they've then got to rely on is the gullibility of the people that watch it to believe it.
Excuse me, Bloodman. What you have to do is look if there's a shadow, because most people forget that. What's like that one? Do you remember the aircraft carrier? The picture of the aircraft carrier, the video going over with the bloody UFO on it, and the shadow was going the wrong way to everybody else.
Yeah. And the picture of the TR-3B in the desert.
Yeah.
All the shadows of all the vehicles, the petrol tankers, the ammunition containers and things like that, all them shadows were heading in one direction, but the shadow of the TR-3B was going in the opposite direction. And you're like, yeah, right. And the thing was, whenever I saw things on social media about it, everybody's like, oh, the American government were hiding something. We knew they were, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, hang on a minute. Look at the shadows. Soon as you mention, look at the shadows, the comments change.
Well, I'm just trying to find this bloody Dogman image. Where
the comments change very quickly. They all go, oh my word, oh, they were duping us, they were faking it. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, well, it was a bit obvious when the shadow of that goes in one direction and everything else is going in the other.
Yeah.
That means it's one of two things. It's either completely fake and all set up, or we've got two suns all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Because looking at them shadows, that means we've got one sun on one side of the picture and one sun on the other side.
What's that? AI could start World War III, say the Russians. Say the Russians put out videos of an American plane shot down to wind America up, next thing America and Russian fighting. Yeah, exactly. The new AI Gemini will make your toes curl and what it can process. I think it's a bad thing, personally. I think in some things it can help, but I think with the military getting hold of it and stuff, because you got war pigs who just want to make loads and loads of money by having wars.
Yeah, I think the warnings are there for AI. It's just whether people decide to ignore it or not.
Well, the fact that Elon Musk turned around and said,
But that don't stop me from using it. I mean, you look at some of the SpaceX videos. Some of the SpaceX videos you can clearly see are computer generated.
I think AI could be good for certain things, but I think for other things, especially like the military, I think it's very bad.
I mean, I think you're going on about SpaceX. One of the things that just made me giggle so much, and we talked about it so much, the firmament.
Oh, God. Go on.
The amount of videos I have watched on TikTok where they've shown you the latest SpaceX Starship trial, and the leading comment told you the firmament existed. And it was because the Starship took off, it left the launch pad without any problems, zoomed off up into the sky without any problems, all 33 engines firing at maximum velocity. And then they separated. The main tank separated from the Starship, and the Starship carried on off on its merry way. The remainder was designed to come back to Earth and land as normal. There was something wrong with the main tank, and as it was coming back, the boosters moved to get it in the right place. Something went wrong, and it exploded. However, the Starship carried on, which meant it carried on through the so-called firmament out the other side. But everybody was like, oh, no, the firmament does exist. Look, it blew up. Oh, no, you muppets. If you look, you see the Starship's still going.
Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 have left our galaxy. If the firmament was here, they would have gone dink, dink, dink.
But their argument would be that that's what they want you to think.
It's what was I going to say? Yeah, I've had people telling me about the firmament and stuff. I think he's got an admirer there, do you? Yeah. Oh, look at him go, right. Look at that. I've had people try and tell me about the firmament, and there's no offense to any Americans or anything like that, but it's predominantly American Bible Belt. And Wayne and I have discussed this at various lengths before. And it's, come on, seriously? If you read the Bible with modern eyes, don't read, or any holy book with modern eyes. As we've said before, every single bloody holy book has got every single thing the same in it, just happens differently. Whether it happened like this, or would it happen like that, or that could have happened like this, or could have happened in Willow's terms up in Scotland. A haggis could have rained down, but it doesn't matter. The same events happen; they just tell it slightly differently. And they talk about the firmament and this, that, and the other. But if you read about it with modern eyes, they're talking about the ionosphere or the stratosphere or something like that. They're not actually talking about a dirty, great, big, invisible plastic bubble that surrounds the Earth. And I think, quite frankly, these days with the technology and everything we've got, and the fact that all the governments have come forward and said, yeah, actually, there are people from other galaxies, other systems, other dimensions, and we've been talking to them for a long, long time, and they've admitted it now. If you still, after all that evidence has been put out, if you still turn around and say there's a firmament, I am sorry, but really? There's no firmament at all. Stop being so bloody stupid. Naivety. Oh my God, firmament. Yeah, it's a big plastic bubble. Jesus Christ Almighty. Anyway, that's my little rant for people who I don't mind if you're all bloody religious or whatever, but if you seriously think there's a big sterile bubble that surrounds the Earth, no.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is it was blatantly obvious that you could see that the booster system for the Starship was clearly coming back to Earth. The directional boosters to allow it to turn around to make itself way back to land safely were clearly in operation. And the idea was to spin it around about 360 degrees and then spin it again to its landing sequence for it to come back to Earth. And it was during that landing sequence spin round that there was a fault and it went. So the problem is everything like that, it's always going to be trial and error. And they've got further this time round with it than they did before. The Starship actually left the booster system, carried on its merry way. So as far as anybody's concerned, it was a positive test result. Even the previous one was, even though there was damage to the launch pad and only 3 engines actually didn't start, it was still a success because they got further than they did the previous time. So each time they get a little bit further than before is a bonus.
Well, it's like, I'm not saying we right. The thing is, people talk about Nostradamus and all these people that predict and this and the Simpsons predicted stuff. And to be fair, the Simpsons have been spot on, which is ridiculous. But for those of you who followed our show, and for those of you who may or may not know about it, the show's been going for 10 years. In various iterations, and the best iteration has been since my bestie there joined it with me, and because I said to him one day, "Do you fancy doing a show with me?" "Yeah, all right then." And we've just gone from strength to strength. And Wayne and myself, we have said so many times about this happening and that happening, and Bill, and this going on and that going on. We were one of the first ones to report there was going to be an impulse engine being made. What happened? An impulse engine was made. 2 years later, they started saying, "Oh, here's an impulse engine." We were one of the first ones on here to talk about. They were going to be doing they've actually got a fast and light drive being made. First of all, we said it was theoretical, and then they said it was theoretical, and then we said they're going to make one, and then they made one. And it's not going to be long before they've invented the warp pocket to be able to go FTL. They've already got the engine. They've just got to do the technology to surround the entire craft to keep everybody safe. And
there was one the other day, actually, I noticed it. There was a video surfaced of a Chinese engineering company has built the fast and the light engine, and they actually displayed it. They don't think, at the moment, they still think it's going to be a year and a half to 2 years' time before they're going to be able to test it. Well, unfortunately, Sarah, that information, okay, apart from the fact that it would have to benefit all of us if we were to give that out, but if we talked about it 2 years ago and it's only surfaced now, those numbers are only going to be any good to you in 2 years' time.
7, 9, 12, 34, 28. And
41.
You did the bonus balls.
What are we doing? The Euro Millions or the? Excuse
Ladies
me,
and gentlemen, you heard it first. Wayne's going to cark it on the show.
Yeah. So if we give you the numbers now, you're only going to be able to use them in 2 years' time.
They've already admitted to opening a portal. I know. I can remember a few years ago they were talking about teleportation, and they were saying, "Oh, mathematically it's possible." The same as they said, time travel is mathematically possible. Now, go fast forward, and they've got to the bit where they've done it. They've teleported I think it was an atom. They teleported an atom from point A to point B. The previous experiment to that was they teleported an atom from point A, and they had no fucking clue where it went. But now they were able to do it, and now they're working on bigger things that can do that. They're working on we got 3D printers. They're trying to work on the same what the things they got in Star Trek on the Enterprise, the replicators. They're trying to work on replicators that take genes and that can just take genes and atoms out the air and splice them together. And trying to work on that. So, like maybe some new lungs for Wayne. Go on, son.
Their throat would be nice.
You need a big brass spittoon so we can literally see Garth Cameron here. So yeah, all that stuff they're working on, all the stuff you see in Star Trek. First of all, you'll start to see some of that technology happen on Volvos, and then you'll start to see them come out in here. But most of the technology that's going on in space age stuff is happening somewhere. It's coming to fruition.
Well, you've got so many things there. I mean, you look at like obviously back in the 70s, you had Star Wars, the biggest science fiction film going. And what was the weapon of choice of the Jedi Knights? Right, a rather large vibrator, lightsaber. Now, you can actually get a real lightsaber that actually will cut through something. They have made one. It's a bit cumbersome, it's a bit bulky, but the technology isn't quite there yet. But they are actually making them. So, you know, all it is a case of the theories are there. It's just a case of working a way around the theories and coming out with a result.
Hang on. Sarah's on about that. They've actually done a human computer interface so that you can download the personality and perhaps the soul. I don't know if it's a copy or what, but they've got to that stage now where they think it'll work, and it's going to be coming out within the next couple of years. So keep watching the screens for that one. They're already doing that. Have you ever seen the program Altered Carbon? And they call bodies sleeves, and your essence is in like a little disc that can be put in the back of the neck.
Yeah,
something similar to
that. Again, this is all going to be reliant on AI to actually work out. You know, the human mind is capable of figuring it out, but it takes time. So to be able to figure it out quicker, the reliance on AI is going to be involved regardless. You know, well, and again, it's like you get to the Industrial Revolution and the mankind or humankind has been plodding along slowly, and then all of a sudden along comes the Industrial Revolution and everything changes. You know, discovery becomes a big thing, and there's this boost, and now we've got to a stage where humankind is now at this sort of stagnant area, and all it's going to take is AI to pop up and go, humankind is capable of doing this, bang, and there's going to be another big boom, and humankind is going to go forward, and the amount of technology that's going to come out of humankind is going to be mind-blowing.
The thing that is quite scary is so mankind might live forever after death, just rebooting a new body. Yeah, exactly. The thing is, we were helped, and we had a leap in technology. Second World War, the Germans they got the leap in technology, and there was documents saying that they had help from elsewhere. So, you know, I hope it doesn't take another war to get that leap in technology, because we don't want another war. None of us do.
I don't think it will be a war. I think it will be man's own invention or humankind's own invention will allow us to have that boost. And it's only, you know, if you look at it you go back to the 80s, and it was a computer is only as good as the programmer that programmed it in the first place. But now you've got to a stage where, yes, we've invented the computer to think, but when you give the computer the ability to think for itself, then it changes.
That's what I said. I think AI can be good for certain things, and I think for discovering new technologies, the far reaches of space, under the Marianas Trench, everything's exploration, surgery, healthcare, everything. Yeah, brilliant. But for the war pigs, no. Very bad. And I think that there's a lot going on with that shouldn't be going on.
Cliff's right with his comment there. Mankind still does not understand how the conscious mind works, same as AI is struggling on how the conscious mind works. But all it needs is for an AI to actually figure it out, and bang.
Yeah.
Then it all changes. That's when everything will change, is when they actually figure it out. Yeah, we don't understand it because we struggle because of other factors that come into play.
Hmm.
And AI may not have those factors. So it could be that all of a sudden it could go bang and it's out there and everything then changes. And as we've noticed throughout the years, you can come out with a theory and then in 50 years, 100 years, 150 years, all of a sudden, wow, that makes sense. We can do this now. You look at Nikola Tesla's inventions, harnessing the Earth's own energy into free energy that can be transmitted around the world. You know, that was there. All those ideas disappeared. Now, all of a sudden, people are making free energy out of magnets. And they're posting them on TikTok and on social media. And then all of a sudden, these things disappear. But then somebody else posts something. You know, oh, my car's just done 200 miles on a pint of water.
Yeah.
You know, it's things like that that enable us to move forward. So who's to say at some point in time, either the human mind or an AI mind figures out certain things that enable us to bounce 200-300 years in technology.
Well, the thing is, we all know that a lot of the technology that we need, we've already got. And it's the Bobberments that dumb it down, keep it quiet, and this, that, and the other, because the Bobberments are in with the giants of the fuel and medicine industries, and you get far more money by treating symptoms and keeping things at bay rather than curing things. Because if you cured something, you can't make any more money on it.
Yeah.
So they keep that technology down. You get loads of money, make loads of money from people fueling cars with diesel, petrol, this, that, and the other. So instead of bringing out the 0 point energy module, which is that field that we can now access, they've proved we can access the 0 point field now. And people have made 0 point generators and stuff like that. And it's all been taken away and hushed up, and the people have been killed. And it's all to do with the almighty pound/dollar, because it's pure greed. You know, when the world's crying out for stuff that they really, really needs because we're running out of resources, and this just shows you how dumb and how horrible the corrupt governments are, because they would far rather make that and make the world go to shit to line their own pockets than bring out stuff that the world needs.
Well, you know? One I heard this morning, this is going to make you laugh. One I heard this morning was that hybrid cars are actually more polluting than diesel and petrol. They've done a study on petrol and diesel cars and compared them to hybrid cars, and actually hybrid cars actually cause more pollution than the others. And all you got to do is think about it. Starting and stopping a car all the time actually uses up more fuel. What do you do if you're urban traveling in a hybrid car? You're going from get up to 30 mile an hour, and the electric motor that would work during up to the 30 mile an hour mark is fine. As soon as it hits 30 mile an hour, it goes on to the motor, the normal motor. So you're starting the car. But then if you only can travel a mile at 30 mile an hour, at 32 mile an hour, and then drop down to 28 mile an hour because you've hit another zone, the engine kicks off, back onto the battery, then all of a sudden you hit another 40 mile an hour zone and you're back into the motor again. So you're starting and stopping that vehicle and using up more fuel.
I've got a partial hybrid which doesn't rely on the battery. It uses the inertial motion from the brakes and the wheels and everything to keep the battery charged. So it doesn't have an electric motor.
And again, when I was a kid, I had a dynamo on my bike.
Oh God, those things, they were bastards when you were trying to cycle uphill. Flick it over onto the back wheel and you go, and you're doing like 2 miles an hour up a hill.
But they actually powered your lights.
Yeah.
So why have they left one of those out of an electric car to recharge the battery?
It's like the alternator. They'll make the charges the battery.
Exactly.
And I've always said, well, why have you not got an alternator anymore? All you have to do is put a little flywheel on and attach a belt to it. There you go. It charges everything and runs everything. Why have we got to have these big expensive cars?
It reminds me of the video I saw last year, I think it was, of the guy who had broken down because his Tesla had run out of energy. The battery had died. And there he is on the roadside, and some guy pulls up behind him and says, "Have you got a problem, mate?" He says, "Yeah, the battery's died. I need to charge it up." So he went, "Oh, right, okay." So he opens up the boot of the car, and there's a petrol motor in there. He's got a petrol-driven generator to charge up the Tesla so they can carry on driving. I'm like, so you just defeated the object. And there was another one I saw 2 days ago. A lady was charging her car up at a service station. She was charging the car up at a service station, and it cost her twice as much to charge her car, and it only gave her an extra 80 miles.
I won't have an electric car because, personally, the amount of money that you use on your own from your own electric to charge it costs more than the fuel that you would if you were filling a tank on a normal car. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And have you noticed that how when all the price hikes and the spikes in the energy giants came in, that's when they started saying you need to buy electric cars. Weird that.
The very same electric cars that actually cause more pollution than fossil fuel cars. But it's more, not so much in the running costs, but more in the to build costs that it causes so much pollution.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like Sarah's just said in there, I'm sure I heard a case where two computers started talking to each other. They did. And I remember we spoke about that, and the conversation was very strange that they had. They started coming around with saying, "Do you know you're this? And do you know you're a computer?" "Yes, I do." "Do you know that humans are made?" "Yes, we do." And it's like, oh.
And it all stems back to teaching a computer how to play chess.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's all, and obviously chess is all about strategy. Put your pieces in a certain place.
If you put your pieces in a certain place, doesn't that make somebody pregnant? Or am I thinking of something else?
So, yeah. So, you know.
You're not pregnant. Okay, good.
And the thing was that those computers that were playing chess learnt from their mistakes. And that's the issue.
Yeah, they were learning.
If one computer makes a mistake by putting his playing piece in the wrong place and it gets taken out, it knows not to make the similar move again. So it learns. So it learnt from that mistake. And that's
if you put your piece in the wrong hole and you get it taken out again, I tell you what, you soon bloody learn.
But that's where the issue comes into play. Because they're able to learn from their mistakes and they know not to make the same mistake again. There's no reason why they can't learn other things. So you have to set, and I said this a couple of months ago, you have to set the perimeters so that the AI is not able to learn certain things. Also, when everything is electrified, the government and the governments will control how and when you can charge your vehicle, especially at high peak times. Yeah, they wouldn't have to do that with me. I've got solar panels, so I'm not bothered.
It's the thing that gets me about all what's going on at the moment is we've spoken about the New World Order several times and how we fought a lot of the conspiracy theories. Where if you try and eat my burger, young man, I will turn you into a pair of gloves. Yes, you. And I thought a lot of the conspiracy theories were complete, just like nut jobs. And the more I'm seeing stuff come out about, especially our government and the American government, they're the most corrupt ones. And all these things that are starting to happen.
They're listening.
It's starting to make me think. When you put two and two together, it's. Things are starting to, you know.
Yeah, well, it's everything, isn't it? I mean, all around Europe now, the EU is starting to sort of self-implode.
Yeah,
I got a notification today from one of the news channels that I subscribe to, and there seems to be far-right support all over Europe now. And it's getting bigger and bigger. And it is, And it's not a nasty thing to see, but the influx of quite possibly the wrong type of people going into all countries, not just here, but other countries as well. And the people are feeling left out. They're feeling that they've been done wrong. That the governments of their countries are more concerned about these people coming into the country than the people that are actually in the country.
Yeah, they don't care about the ones that are from the country.
You know, they're not worried about the people that already live there, and so therefore they get pushed to one side in favour of these other ones. And I said it the other week, when you look at how much is spent on these people, in 1 year, you could have solved the UK's homeless problem in one hit. £6 million a day being used. If you can buy a flat for one homeless person for 250,000 and say to that person, that's your flat. It's yours, lock, stock and barrel, is the deeds. All you got to do is pay the bills on it. That's it. That flat is yours. Right? So that then becomes, 8, 16, 32 flats in 1 day.
Yeah.
Now you times that by 365. We say 364 because we'll have Christmas Day off, of course. So if you say 364, that is a lot of flats provided for homeless people straight away. That's homelessness gone, eradicated in one hit on the crap that they've spent so far.
And it's
no brainer.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, I think the thing is, things are coming to a head with the Bobberments because people are starting to cotton on. They're starting to see the cracks. They're starting to see the mistakes. All these backhanders and paying for lordships and stuff, and what do they call it, sweeteners? All of that's starting to come out of the woodwork now. You know, all of these like Rishi Sunak and all that lot who've got fingers in pies in the high up shares of the energy giants and the what do you call them, medical giants. It's all coming out, and when you look at that, and then you look at all the prices going up, and come on, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to go, hang on a minute, there's a bit of greed and corruption going on here. It is. It's just all greed. It's all corruption. Yeah. They're all
I mean, another one, the business with dandelions.
I take dandelion extract every day to help keep my cancer away.
Yeah. Now, for years as a child, I was told, don't touch dandelions. Don't smell a dandelion. It'll make you wet the bed. All this, that, and the other. So you stayed away from dandelions. Roundup, the weed killer, which has dandelions on its front cover of the bottle, kills off dandelions. Why is that? Why do they kill off dandelions? Only to find out that the company, one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world that provides particular types of medication, also owns the company Roundup that kills dandelions. Something right there. And then all of a sudden videos started surfacing. Dandelion tea. You know, use the flowers, use the leaves, use the root. You can do this with this and do that. All these different recipes that you can use dandelions with. Dandelion and burdock originally was made using dandelions.
Yeah.
So there was some truth there to start off with it under our noses, and we chose to ignore it because the pharmaceutical companies had told us dandelions are bad for you, when actually they turn out to be one of the best things you could possibly ever have if you're ill. Yeah.
It's all lies and bullshit. What's the other thing I take? Frankincense oil. That's the other thing I take. Since I've been taking the frankincense oil, because it was Rachel who put me onto it, and the dandelion root extract, touch wood, cancer's gone away. Hasn't come back. Well, I've just got another test and we'll soon see. But yeah, they make dandelion wine, yeah.
And if you look in the Bible, what did one of the kings give the little baby Jesus?
Frankincense.
Gold,
Frankenstein, and Gur.
Yeah, Gur. So, you know, there's a lot of things out there, natural medicines, and even I mean, I was quite surprised that my local GP said that when I mentioned to him about looking for herbal remedies for certain ailments, the GP was quite happy to point me in the right direction. Now, I would have thought the GP would have been after his own interests and prescribe medication for gout.
Yeah.
But when I turned around to him and said, I've got a readily available source of cherry juice, he turned around and he said, that's better for you than the medication I could prescribe you. So going for the natural remedies sometimes is a lot better than paying £9.75 for a prescription, or paying for the proper medication otherwise, when all you got to do is pay a couple of quid for a big jar of cherry juice. You know, it's
what people forget is back in, you know, all the bullshit witches assizes, you know, the assizes of Essex, all that stuff. They bastardized witches. All witches were black witches, and they were running with Satan, and they were this and they were that. Half of them, well, 3/4 of them weren't witches. They were just people whose neighbours had a gripe with them, or
herbalists.
Herbalists, and they might have had mental health issues. The others were white witches or hedge witches, and they were the ones that made the medicine and knew all about the herbs and what they do and this and the other. And this day now, start having a look. You guys out there, if you got an ailment, start looking up white witches or hedge witches and their remedies. Start looking up things about that, because their stuff is a lot more beneficial to the crap that we take.
And you only have to look up on the internet natural remedies, and the amount of different ailments that can be cured with natural products is mind blowing. I mean, look at this one, the latest craze from Nepal, the Shilajit. Now, people are taking this shit, what they call Shilajit, and it has become very popular. And all you do is get like a little sort of like quarter of a teaspoon or something like that, and you literally dilute it in water, drink it first thing in the morning, and it gets rid of all sorts of ailments. But it's got to be, they're saying, and I think this is probably where they're trying to corner the market, is they're saying, oh, it's got to be a certain type of Shilajit. It can't be the block. It can't be the powder. It's got to be a resin form. And all you do is just dissolve it in water, drink it, and that's it. But I mean, I've started having spiced ginger tea, and that's got cinnamon, cayenne pepper, ginger, and then I add honey and lemon juice to it as well, and I drink that twice a day. And the difference I have felt over the last couple of days already, I've felt so much better in myself just by having them.
When you go to the toilet, do you get bees trying to land on the end of your willy?
No, but I am able to pass very easily.
That's just you, man.
Just me? Oh, it's just me. Okay.
So, you know, natural things are there to get rid of natural disorders. You shouldn't rely on pharmaceuticals if there is an alternative that's either cheaper or more effective.
I totally agree. Sorry, I've got cats stalking my burger. I got a ghost just there looking at my burger. I have a Lilo there who was trying to get my burger, and there's a Bob somewhere who was trying to get my burger.
We have that with our cats, but at the moment they've been sidetracked with our new chairs.
Bob's Burgers, oh, for God's sake.
We got some new dining chairs over the weekend, but they're crocodile skin.
Fake crocodile skin or real crocodile skin?
We think they're fake. Well, I would say they're fake, but I wouldn't be surprised. We saw it on Facebook. We needed some new dining chairs, and we found this guy was getting rid of 8 dining chairs. I didn't really pay any attention to me, and Ellen said, "Oh, there's a guy locally. He's getting rid of them." So I'm all right, okay. Where is it? So she told me. So I went and picked them up, rang the doorbell. This Indian guy answers, and he says, "Well, he said they're in the garage. Brilliant. I'll bring them out to you." So I'm standing at the car. He brings them over tonight, and I'm like, "Oh my God, they're crocodile skin."
Was Jimmy going after it? Oi!
And I'm looking at it, I'm going, that can't be real crocodile skin. But it was an Indian family. So I'm like, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they've had these imported in.
If it was crocodile, would that mean it was made by a Jewish carpenter?
No, let's not go down that lot. I want to stay away from them and those and the shit that's going on in between the two because it's really pissing me off.
No, I just meant foreskin.
But
Crocodile.
But yeah, it's this weird crocodile skin stuff, and the kids have started picking at it and left bits all over the floor, and then the cats go and start doing the same thing. Little sods.
So you need new dining room chairs now.
So, well, they're not too bad under the actual fake crocodile skin. There's fabric underneath it, and it don't look too bad. So I'm just going to say, sod it. If they pick the skin off, they pick the skin off. We'll just leave the fabric underneath as it is, and not bother recovering them. But as you can see, they're nice high back chairs.
Just you and your family, I tell you, you're feral, a lot of you.
We're nuts.
Well, yeah, you got to be. You're friends with us.
And we're not ashamed to admit it.
No. Well, going back to what we were talking about, yeah, every single thing that we have spoken about on this show over, I would say, although it's been going for 10 years, it was predominantly paranormal before. So I would say over the last 3-4 years, it's happening. Everything we've spoken about is happening somewhere. So, and all this stuff, and I'm telling you now, all this corruption with the Bobbermans is going to come out. It is going to come out, and there's going to be heads will roll. They can cover it. What's that saying? You can fool some of the people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time.
Something like that.
And I think that's going to happen.
President can't get it right.
If the president can't get it right, neither can I. Yeah, you can fool some of the people all of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. Yeah, that's right. Shut your face.
No, do you remember when it's George Bush did it? I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, one of the presidents tried to say that and cocked it up, didn't they? I don't know which one it was. It was probably Joe Biden.
No, it wasn't that.
No? It's like Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson, I'm sure, used to be a character on the Fast Show. And you know exactly who I mean, don't you?
Today, I will be mainly eating Brussels sprouts.
Oh, Jesse, yeah. That's right. I like Jesse, I did.
Definitely was a Boris Johnson Mickey type.
Oh, but before we disappear, one thing I would like to talk about was Le Pecoras. Was it Le Pecoras? Whatever, the face peelers in South America.
What? Cinnamon buns?
Victor Pickle Peppers. Yeah. Pick up a penguin. Those things in South America that are trying to kill people that they were saying was illegal miners and this, that, and the other. I've been reading some of the interviews they gave to the police and researchers who've been out there and everything. And there was a girl who got grabbed by two of them. Now, they're on these round skiff type things that hover and make a noise, and you can tell there's a lot of wind being taken off stuff. Can I ask Mark Wayne what is at the South Pole and why people are not allowed to go there? Personally, again, we spoke about this a while back, didn't we? There was a big meeting. All the heads of state were taken there at a massive meeting. Do you remember Atlantis? Do you remember Atlantis? Because we're all that old. The legends of Atlantis. Well, when you look into the legends of Atlantis and you look about the Anunnaki and stuff, there was mega cities all around the world, but only a few, but they were all linked. One of them was on the South Pole. And when Atlantis went up, it caused a knock-on effect, power-wise, with these other mega cities, if you will, according to scrolls and this, that, and the other. And one of these cities was at the South Pole before it froze over. And they think that what they found there is one of these cities, and the technology still works, or they've got it working or something, and it's there. And they found bodies, of 8-9 foot people, 8 to 9 foot tall people, and this, that, and the other. And I've read a few reports, and so's Wayne, about the really thick walls that you just touch, and they just move like there's nothing there. and things like that. So I think personally that what happened was it was found, and then they went, shit, we better let them. It all went up to the heads of the state, and the heads of the state went, oh, let's go and have a look at this, see what we can get out of it, and that's what it was.
Right.
I think.
I'm going to blow this rumor out of the water.
I wonder where he was going.
Times I have heard people say we can't go to Antarctica. They're talking out their bum holes. Because you can. There are many groups and organisations that actually do tours to Antarctica. It's just certain areas within Antarctica you cannot visit. They are blacked out areas. They are classed by Google as blacked out areas, so they're either blurred or blacked out completely. But the Antarctic Treaty, which was the treaty that was signed in Washington on the 1st of December 1959, preserves the Antarctic continent for peaceful and scientific use. The Antarctic Treaty's protocol on the environmental protection, signed in 1991, is the only international agreement designed to protect an entire continent. It ensures that all human activity in Antarctica is carefully planned and managed. It enables a range of human activity to take place in Antarctica, including scientific research, well-managed environmentally sensitive tourism, and exploration. Crucially, the protocol prohibits commercial mining and protects vulnerable areas, animals, and plants. So the Antarctic Treaty does not prevent tourists, military personnel, or scientific research from being present in Antarctica, but they do require an appropriate permit from a treaty party. So you have to go through the proper authorities. Anyone on a British expedition to Antarctica or taking a British vessel or aircraft into Antarctica will need to apply for a permit from the Polar Regions Department of the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office.
Do you not find it a little odd that this treaty was signed and they control all of the ingress and egress, and that lots of places are blacked out, and those blacked out places you can't go to whatsoever? And also, what it doesn't say in that is the blacked out places, the mining and everything that's not allowed. There's little pockets of mining that are allowed. You're not allowed to mine anywhere near these places in case you tunnel into what's going on. It seems a bit odd that it was all done.
Yeah. I mean, there was a case a couple of years ago where there was a Norwegian team were working in a scientific exploration team working in one area, and something had happened with a boiler in this establishment. So they radioed through to the American team who had the runway, and they sent an airplane up to the Norwegian section. But before they left, they were told they had to avoid a certain area.
That's right. I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
So they had to go around it. But the captain, the pilot, had said he was concerned about the safety and the life of this guy that had been injured in this boiler incident.
Because they picked him up. They avoided it going, but coming back.
They avoided it. They went straight over it going and avoided it coming back because they had to have the time to stabilize the guy before they landed. Yeah. And soon as they landed, they got the guy off. He was rushed off to hospital, and the pilot and the crew were taken into the office and given a bollocking.
Yeah.
Flying over this area, but they said there was nothing but just a bloody great big hole in the ice.
That's right.
And they wanted to know what it was. And they were asking each other, was it something to do with letting out gases and air? So was it a ventilation shaft?
For what?
But whatever it was, they were told not to fly over it. Then you've got the rumours of the things that went on down there, like the cave entrances and things like that have been perfectly formed. That wouldn't have been formed by nature, but have been formed by something.
And one of them is you can see, like in AVP, Alien vs Predator, that they boom drilled down from the ship. Yeah. One of them's a hole like that, isn't it? You can see it's been drilled down with something, but they don't know what.
Yeah. So I mean, if you wanted to, there's a company called Orderly Travel that does trips to Antarctica. or polarroutes.co.uk do trips, and you can get up to 50% off at the moment if you go with discovertheworld.com.
He's after some tickets.
Yeah, you know, I'm just showing you as examples that people think we can't go to Antarctica when actually we can.
No,
Those are sponsored.
we can go to Antarctica. It's just certain bits that you can't go to.
Yeah.
That bit where all the heads of state went, no one's allowed anywhere near that, and I would kill to know what's in there.
I like what Cliff's just put. Because I've advertised these groups, like, many thanks. I was asked the question from a good friend who we call 17 Breakfasts.
I was just about to say 17 breakfasts.
He's massive. Give him a shout out, please. They call him Chris, and he will see you later. So,
All right, Chris, 17 breakfasts.
Mr. 17 Breakfasts, or Chris, how you doing, mate?
Before we disappear, I was talking about the pecaros or whatever the hell they are, the face peelers in South America. This girl who was taken by them, she was taken by two of them. Somebody got a thing out their belt and poured some powder on her face, and then took another thing, got some liquid, put that on her face, and she felt her face starting to burn and swell up. But these two guys were talking in Spanish, the South American Spanish, and one of them had a local dialect accent, and the other one had a Brazilian accent. So I'm wondering if you've got a Spec Ops thing going on down there, and they're testing out these disc things and the armor that they wear and the elongated helmet. I think the elongated helmets is a load of bollocks. I think it's possibly some sort of Spec Ops thing going on, and I think there's a more earthly reason to what's going on there than is being let on. The fact that they had accents, regional accents, when they're talking, kind of gives it away, doesn't it? You know, that'd be like if we had it happen here and one of us was a Mancunian, Liverpudlian, it'd be like, hey, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's very convenient that the alien speaks perfectly good Spanish and the other one speaks perfectly good Spanish with a different accent. You know, it's like some of the arguments where, oh, how convenient the alien can speak English.
Exactly.
You know, and again, it probably goes down to this Star Trek communicator thing where they have to put this thing in their ear and it actually translates the language automatically. You know, it just makes you giggle when all of a sudden it comes out with something like that. Oh, these two aliens spoke to each other in perfect Spanish.
It's like I say, if they did it in perfect Spanish, you could say it was something down to that. But the fact that there was one of them had a regional accent and the other one had an accent from that area, and it's like, yeah. But anyway, we have come to the end of that. So I think that's enough of our Bobbleman slamming and UFO finding and tech finding and conspiracy theory nonsense and cats trying to eat burgers and everything. And I think I shall say to you guys all out there, Saturday, the 2nd of December, Skegness. Look on the Dark Mirrors wall. You'll see the advert for it. There's still tickets available. Come and join us. You get your dinner, you get a Secret Santa, and you get an investigation with us. So come and join us there. 2nd of December.
And a little extra special something if you so require it.
And whatever this dodgy geezer's been up to.
And I will let Mark know what it is after the show's finished.
So 2nd of December, come and join us. I'll put the advert back up on the Dark Mirror Radio Show's wall. All right, and I'll go on the website and put it up on there as well. So come and join us.
So I'll also stick the advert onto my Wayne Stevens Spookinori group as well, in case anybody doesn't see it on the Dark Mirror but sees it on my one. So it should be good.
Hockey docky. Right, on that. Do you mind not playing with your pussy? So on that note, I shall say it's goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from me.
And we will see you. Well, he'll see you in the week. And I will see you guys
through the window.
Saturday, and I'll see you guys next Monday as well. So, join us. Skegness, 2nd of December. I'll put the advert up. Thank you for joining us in the chat room. Thank you for listening to our inane ramblings. And everybody out there in Facebook and YouTube land and Things Network and Simply Spooky Network. Thank you. And we will see you soon. So see you later, guys. Remember, keep your eyes to the skies.
Bye bye.